welcome to the Ocho Bowl podcast for week one. The draft's done and we're ready to go. I'm your host, as always, the commish with the dish. That works. Your boy CV or Sweet Red Vermouth. And joining me, he gets knocked down and he gets back up again. Cameron Woodyard. I was going to say reigning champion, but no, that was like 3 years ago now.
That was 3 years ago, yep.
Still living on the glory.
First time, long time, you know how it is.
Yeah. How you going today, Cam?
I have a small child. I'm perennially cooked.
Well, I mean, you got a beer at least. There's about to be finals footy on. I mean, all things considered.
I'm an Essendon fan. That doesn't mean anything to me. 20 years. We passed 20 years the other day.
It's like a fine wine. It gets better with time.
It's like edging. Man, it's going to feel so good when it finally happens.
Speaking of edging, actually, there was a poor transition. But first thing we're going to touch on some laundry. That's the word. Emails. There was no emails sent to the mailbox, which I'm not going to blame the league because I put the wrong email in the thing last week. So, a correction. The correct email is ochobowl@gmail.com. So send in your messages, send in your voicemails, and just again, to say it again, like Dwayne says, you call, you get on.
It's a miracle this league ever got off the ground.
Look, one mistake out of in like 10 years is fine. I don't think I've ever made another mistake.
I can't immediately think of one. Let's move on.
Yeah. And so, Cam, we hear you got some umbrance with the show after the Chumbawamba comparison.
Well, look, I think the one-hit wonder I think is a little bit of an unfair representation. I think I'm more like Radiohead, consistently good, but people only really care about the one time he made it to number one. I mean, also like Radiohead, I'm boring and pretentious, so I think it's a much more fair comparison.
Look, I'll start calling you Thom. I just like saying Thom.
Thom York.
Thom York. Yeah. Cool. And so then, look, okay, I'll stop calling you a one-hit wonder. I'll start calling you British sad rock instead.
Works for me.
Cool. Speaking of sad boys, you're the man with the inside track on the newest member, Brian. Besides his Riddler comparisons, what else can you tell us about him?
Brian's a white-collar professional who drives a Ford Raptor for no discernible reason, and I really think that's all you need to know about him.
Do you think he picked the Ford Raptor because he knew we'd be in a league with Havers and he thought it might be able to use that to suck up to him to get a trade through?
At the risk of editorializing, yes, I do.
Cool. Hey, I don't have any more.
I'm learning quickly. I do not have the natural charisma for this sort of thing.
Yeah, look, I'm a boring man. But, you got to give the people what they want, and they want content. It doesn't matter if it's good or not. And with that, we'll go to our next segment. Cam, I haven't thought of a name of this game, so we're just going to cut. Welcome to the new segment for the Ocho Bowl show, the game show segment. I don't know, I haven't got a name for it yet. If you can think of, I should probably tell you what we're doing before we think of a name. So we're doing random game show stuff with the guest. Here we're doing a tier system. So if you think of a name for the segment, there's an email to send that to. Again, you call, you get on. So Cam is our newest father of the league. I've got 5 baby terms here. Pregnancy terms. So the first one is just the baby. So that's a good thing, presumably. I hope so. So that's for just a team where they've had a good draft. It might not be perfect, but it's healthy. It's on its way. Second tier is the Fontanales. It's a team that's got the bones there, but it hasn't come together yet. So, it could come together by the end of the season. Next is Braxton Hicks for the team's drafts that just makes them look like a pretender. You could look at it and go, oh yeah, that might be a team, but then when you look at it deeper, you're like, nah, get that fake shit out of here. Next we got Breach for the drafts where you don't know what they were doing, and they're coming out backwards. And then lastly, we've got spina bifida for the teams draft you're looking at, and it's just an incurable draft. You're like, what's going on here?
All right,
So,
well, how do you want to kick this off, mate?
also, just to be fair, so if Cam cannot see my screen, so to make it even better, so we'll see how we go. So first, I've got Jutsi as the first cab off the rank.
I think last season was truly an outlier. I I do not know, and I will not be able to explain how Ben got up and got to the top. And I think this year he's going to return to his position of spina bifida.
Oh, he comes out for the reigning champ straight away.
Um,
Would you be willing to
I mean, look,
say no keepers, no Jutsi?
I would, Ken. I would be willing to say that. I mean, look, we know Ben is prone to a reach. I don't have the draft in front of me, I'm afraid, but we know the zero RB strategy is risky, and Mixon and Jones is one too. I don't love. Tyreek's obviously going to produce. Devontae, who's going to be throwing him the ball, and then he took Drake May in the ninth or 10th,
In the eighth.
something stupid, and in the eighth. And Daniel, so his quarterbacks, Prescott, who look, I'm going to withhold my opinion on Prescott as a Cowboys fan, but also, yeah, between Drake May and Daniel Jones, mate, what are you fucking doing? There's nice pieces, but there's just too much I don't like. So one season at the top, Ben's the new Chumbawamba.
Ooh, he's trying to cast off the Chumbawamba crown as quickly as he's received it.
He can be, I don't know, he can be Len. He's not likable enough to be Len. Um,
You know you've set yourself up now that if Ben beats you, you're gonna get a message that just like one, where is your sunshine? Two, I'm stealing your sunshine.
that's okay. I can take that because look, I'm confident again. It'll fall apart again. The wheels will fall off. He'll revert to classic. Look, we all know it's classic Ben. Like as soon as there's injuries, Ben doesn't play the waiver wire, doesn't trade. Like it's a flash in the pan. It's the one and done.
Cool. So we'll move on. So next we've got your mate and mine, Brian.
Well, we're just starting off with all the spina bifida, aren't we? I just there's nothing I like. Like again, it's like look, credit to him. I think it's the first time Brian's ever played super flex. The other league we're in doesn't even have decimal points or PPR. I don't know what we're doing. We're fantasy circa 2005. I,
I don't mind his team. Kyler, Brown, Kelsey, Pacheco, Metcalf.
like is Najee going to see the carries? Is Pacheco going to see the carries? I don't think he will. They've got the new White Lightning there. They've got Samaji Perine there, who Andy Reid says is going to be featured heavily in the red zone. Like I just think this. And again, look, fantasy football's moved on. That you can't rely on bell cow running backs. We know that, but I just don't see it getting done. Like Deontay Johnson in the starting lineup, like he's good, but Carolina are not good. AJ Brown is a monster. DK Metcalf is a monster, but then Travis Kelsey, how old is he this year? 35.
Yeah. Are you saying Travis Kelsey is going to be in more movies this season than he is in winning championship teams?
Well, if he's going to be in more than zero, then yes.
Oh,
I mean, no. Let's be honest. Look, the Chiefs could very well go to the 3P. They are a very good team, and you've got it's a fair advantage when you have one of the best quarterbacks to ever do it. But how many quarterbacks how many tight ends have reliably produced at this age? Like, obviously, we know Kelsey's an outlier, but is it going to catch up with him eventually? Like, or is he going to shake it off? That was a terrible segue. I don't know enough Taylor Swift songs to make a good joke about that.
fair enough. Look, on that,
Andrew?
Oh no, you got one. We're good. Let's keep this going. We're here for a good time, not a long time. Next up, we've got your team. Some self-reflection here from Mr. Woodyard.
The Fontanellis. I like my draft. I like the top of my draft. I don't love my depth. I went high on quarterbacks in 1-2, taking Burrow and Lamar, which I love. I don't love Russell Wilson, but if I can plug him in as a spot starter, so be it. Uh, Gibbs, I'm high on Gibbs. I'm high on Waddle and Debo. Pickens, Ferg, Pollard. There's pieces I don't love, and I don't want to talk about Ezekiel Elliott on my bench, but uh, the bones of a good thing is there. I'm just trying to back myself again.
Yeah,
I've
it's
probably
fair.
rated myself. I've probably rated myself one too high.
Yeah, I mean, you're always going to like your draft. You pick the players, so
Yeah,
it's your bias. So,
correct.
look,
Yeah,
we'll move on. Yeah, I don't think we're going to add much value. Look, to be fair, we're not adding much of value at all. So,
no, no.
next we've got your boy CB, the commissioner.
I've put you in the same in the Fontanellis. I think again, look, you've proven to be. Look, you're a two-time champ,
Yeah, two-time champ.
two-time champ. And again, look, I think I mentioned before, like going essentially no RB is a risky strategy. We have seen it pay off with some of our former list managers in the league. But look, the only thing, well, actually, no, actually, I do like it. Like I think Jaden Daniels does have the potential to really to break out, especially when you play the Giants twice a season. Stroud, we know is going to be a stud. I think you've gone both ends of the spectrum at the wide receiver. Like obviously you've gone Neighbors and Harrison, both who are talented, but can they support top 20 wide receiver seasons? And then Mike Evans, I had to talk myself out of several times, like at least once during the draft, to be like, I mean, look, credit to him. Every time I've passed him over, I'm like, no, it's done. It can't happen again. He's proved us wrong. What is it now? 10 consecutive, 11 consecutive 1,000-yard seasons.
Yeah,
The
something
man,
like that.
look, the man's quarterback proof. The man will produce. But again, at some point, I don't know, like does Father Time's undefeated.
Let's
But
just
no, look again.
let's just hope it's
Yeah,
next year.
yeah.
Cool.
No, let's hope it's this year.
And so
Plus,
that
sorry. Before we move on, you've also got my boy Evan Engram, who was a PPR machine last year. If he just catches a couple of
oh,
touchdowns this year, yeah, could very well be the top tight end.
next we've got the nine-fingered man himself, Dale.
I put
Dale's.
Dale in. Sorry.
I was gonna say Dale's is a hard draft to rate just because with the trades you're like, wait, who the hell did he end up with?
Yeah. I put his team up in front of me, and like I put him in as a breach. It's up and down. Like there's a lot of top end talent. Like obviously Jefferson, I love. Diggs, I think is like the Diggs Schultz stack is difficult. I like the London Cousins stack. I think all that Drake London really needed was a decent quarterback, and Kirk Cousins is exactly that and nothing more. I've got my boy Brandon Aubrey, who kicked a 66-yard field goal recently, so I've got nothing bad to say about that. And Christian Watson, who murdered the Cowboys in the playoffs last year. Like there's a lot to like. People are high on Zamir White. He'll get volume because, well, if he doesn't, who will? But I don't know. I feel like every year there's a new Vegas first round tackle or guard that's getting cut. It was Alex Leatherwood who just got cut. Like I don't know. I don't like Vegas full stop, but I don't like their line either. So
Yeah, that's
yeah.
fair.
But again, like they say, what is it? Volume is king. So he'll see a lot of it. So that's why it's a bit all over the place.
Next we've got Fitzy.
Fitzy, I put. It feels weird saying this after saying that Ben was an outlier, but I've put Fitzy in as the Fontanellis. Like I think there's a lot to like in his team.
Yeah, I love Fitzy's team. Fitzy's
Yeah,
like my favorite team of the draft.
yeah. I think yeah, it's good. There's lots to like. There's question marks. Like Raheem Mostert was a beast last year, but that was off the back of 18 touchdowns, which I don't think he'll see again this year. But Garrett Wilson's a beast, especially if Rogers is playing. Cooper Cup, if he's 75% of the wide receiver he used to be, he got a steal there. Hurts, I watch, like being a Cowboys fan, I watch a lot of Hurts, and I think he's better than people give him credit for. I think he'll lose a couple of the rushing touchdowns because they'll move away from the tush push, but I think there's a lot of excuse me value there. And they've got Mr. Zero Miedo himself, George Kittle, who looks like me if I was good at anything. So there's a lot to like. And then there's pieces on the bench, like I think Antonio Gibson. Like Gibson, Ty Spears, like a lot of these guys could break out this year if their number one running back goes down. So yeah, there's are we going to end up getting more Fitzy tattoos? Who can never be sure.
Oh, hope not. Actually, I look. I'm just worried about Fitzy committing like becoming a sex pest. I did tell him after I got the tattoo. I'm like, Fitzy, you cannot become a sex pest because I don't want to have to get this fucking thing removed.
All right, question: if you had to get multiple tattoos of any member of the league, who would it be and why? Would it
Oh.
be Fitzy because you already have one?
Yeah,
And
sure. I mean, yeah, I was sunk cost fallacy. I'm already in on the Fitzy train. Speaking of trains, next up is Havers.
I put Havers in Breach as well. Um, I don't know. For a long time, I always thought Havers was good at fantasy football, but then I look at the result and he's not. Sorry, Havers. Love you, mate, but I, I don't love Tyler Conklin. I don't love Geno Smith. Again, I think I don't know. Maybe perhaps I'm putting too much value on the quarterback position, but I feel like Goff and Smith just. I mean, I say they're not going to get it done, but I also love St. Brown. I love I just blanked on his name, the tight end, Sam Laporta. Like, there's a lot of pieces there I love, and just for whatever reason, I can't get around Jared Goff, which
Yes.
doesn't mathematically make a lot of sense. Someone's going to have to chuck him the ball. I mean, Bijan's going to be a beast, and then I suppose what it really hinges on is New Orleans going to be able to do anything this year? Like, he's starting Olave and Kamara. New Orleans is not going to be a good team. The only reason they're not going to finish last in their division is because Carolina's there. I just don't see it happening.
It's fair.
Like, it's all game script. Look, if they're dumping off all over the place to look, we know Kamara is a PPR beast, but
Are
I
you
don't know.
worried that he put his house for sale?
What's that? Sorry,
Are you worried that he's put his house for sale?
Kamara or Havers?
Kamara. I'm not aware of Havers selling his house.
That's the big burning question this week. Havers, is your house on the market?
Email in. No, people want emails.
Mate, put a voice message in. You call in, you get on.
And with that, we'll move over to Jared.
Put Jared in as a baby. There's a lot to love about that team.
Classic
Like,
Jared. He's just good at fantasy football, the dog.
he is just good at fantasy football. Look, I look at it like Kincaid's good value. I'm a big Ken Walker fan. Mahomes is the best quarterback in the league. The thing is, like, doesn't necessarily have the rushing upside, but you know they're going to win games. Like, like Achan, the running back for Miami.
Yeah.
I think he's going to be huge. So I'm pretty confident. Like, if you would ask me who's going to be RB1 this year, I think that'll be him.
Yeah.
Like, he's got playing in a McDaniel's system at like rates speed overall. Like, if he can stay healthy, like, he's number one. Houston's going to be huge. Tank Dell's like, I mean, again, I say the same thing. I was criticizing your team for your rookie wide receivers, and I'm looking at like his team's like Odunze, he's got Worthy, and Tank Dell, who's a second-year player. So as it turns out, maybe I just don't know what I'm fucking talking about.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with that.
Yeah, that's a reasonable take. Cam is an idiot.
And then, so next we've got Manny.
Manny, what was that ranking system? His secretive, magical ranking system that missed 2/3 of the players in the league and didn't make sense to anybody. It's a little bit of fun, but I think we're poised to see another bottom quarter finish for Manny. Another North Melbourne season for him.
So we're putting in Spina Bifida or Breach or Braxton Hicks?
Oh, Spina Bifida, mate.
Spina Bifida.
Again, look. My opinion on Harrison Butker aside, Harrison Butker can get in the bin. Deshaun Watson can get in the bin. He's the new Detroit Pistons. There's a lot of unlikable people on his team. Tyron Williams, I like it if he can stay healthy, but if he's going to be returning punts, is that going to happen? CeeDee Lamb, look, I'm big on CeeDee Lamb, naturally. But Derrick Henry is what, 29 this year, 30 this year?
Something like that. He's old.
Yeah, he's old. It's like, look, again, like, he's been the consensus best running back in the last 5 or 6 years. And going to Baltimore does seemed like it could open more lanes for him because obviously the threat of Lamar, but it's like he basically ran his entire career out of an under center formation, whereas Baltimore run a lot out of the pistol and out of the shotguns. So it's like, how's he going to adapt to that? And Rashad White sucks. I've been a Rashad White owner both the last 2 seasons. Rashad White sucks, and Anthony Richardson again. I love him as well, but it's like, can he stay healthy again? Like,
Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, too much to not like, not enough to like. Sorry, Manny. Another season at the bottom of the barrel.
Cool. Next we got the league's ladies man, Reese.
Chompers. Oh, the opposite end. I put Chompers in as the baby.
Oh,
A lot to like. He's got blue chippers at every proven blue chippers at every position. Like Josh Allen obviously could well run up and be number one quarterback again. Saquon Barkley playing in an actual halfway decent offense is dangerous. James Cook in Buffalo, the stack with Allen I think is nice. Houston, I've already said, are going to be huge. Rashee Rice, it depends. Like, is he gonna play this year? It's him that's in trouble with the law currently,
yeah,
isn't it?
he might be suspended this year. It'll be next season.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, like Keenan Allen, can he keep it together? Like that was obviously a little bit of a homer pick with him being a Chargers fan. Same as Lad McConkey, but like Caleb Williams, I think is exciting. Brock Bowers, I think is exciting. Like it's a good side.
Yeah, that's
It's
fair.
a good side until he has to start Gardner Minshew.
I mean, I think every team's shit, like shit when they're starting their third or fourth QB. So, yeah,
Yeah.
ideally, he's breaking case of emergency.
Yeah.
We're to Simon next, or Jared too.
Oh, Gerardo. It's just where did I put him? I put him Braxton Hicks, I think.
Oh, we finally got one in, Braxton Hicks.
Yeah, finally. Yeah, so look, Brees Hall I think is going to be a stud. I sort of put this together. Like his team was very much hinging on a lot of things coming together, like with Chase and Ayuk. They've both come good for him, so it's like I might look. Honestly, I'm fully prepared to be wrong on this, but like, obviously if they come in and start playing well from week on, it's a good team. Ramondre Stevenson, he'll probably be catching a lot of dump offs out of the backfield, so that's nice. I think Amari Cooper's cooked, and Khalil Shakir. It's like there's a lot of ball to go around in Buffalo, and he'll probably be the number 2 guy. But it's like same as every year. It's like, can you count on him in December and January when they're chucking it through the snow? I don't know. I also don't love Will Levis.
Oh, he puts mayonnaise in his coffee. What's not to love?
Man, I'm a man who loves mayonnaise and a man who loves coffee, but that ain't it, dude. That's not it.
Have you tried it?
I have not.
There
You
we
know
go.
what? I'll do it. Look, I'll do it tomorrow. I'll come back for the briefest segment on next week's.
I was going to
On next
say,
week's episode.
or you could send in a voicemail.
Fine, I'll do it. I'll
If
I'll
I
do
don't
it. I'll
have,
send in a.
if I don't have like 6 voicemails next week, I'm fucking quitting the league. And speaking of quitting the league, last we've got Woodsy.
Woodsy, I also put into Braxton Hicks. Where is he? That's Brad's and Chad's. Again, he was another one of those teams. It's like, how did you put this team together? But then realizing he hit with all the trades. I don't know. I don't know. It's like obviously McCaffrey. Yeah, nothing needs to be said about that. But there's a lot of pieces where it's like Jerome Ford. It's like cool. He could be good for how long? Like, what's Nick Chubb going to do when he comes back? David Montgomery again, like, will be understudying for my boy. So I don't know how many carries he's going to see. And then the wide receivers, Puka's a beast. We love Puka, but like, are there too many mouths to feed in Chicago for Moore to be as effective as he was last year? Same in Jacksonville, Christian Kirk. I don't know. And again, like Kyle Pitts, is this the year he breaks out, or
Oh, he's already slightly injured, so
well, how many more years does Kyle Pitts get of, because he's what now into his 4th year, and every year is this the year he breaks out? How many more years do we give him?
He kind of gets it. He was younger than 3 of the first rounders drafted this year, so
Is he really?
yeah,
Oh, he's only 20. Okay. Okay, once again, let's come back to my key point of I don't know shit about fuck. All right, yeah, pass on that. I'm an idiot.
all good. And
2 more years.
that segment that we don't have a name of. Send in your names, and then we will do some tips. Cool. And now the part that everyone cares about, our tips for week one. So we'll start with the first one on my schedule because I'm in it. So it's me versus Woodsy. Woodsy's currently the predicted favourite. So who's your tip?
I mean, we spoke about this briefly in a non-aired one. You can subscribe to the Patreon to get the full extended clip
And my
and
cosplay dudes.
and pictures of my butthole, I suppose. Yeah, look, I think what it comes down to is how well do the Jets coalesce? Like, there's the Purdy McCaffrey stack is big, and then but are the Jets still a real team? Like, are the Jets for real this year for the first time in what 15 years? I don't know. Like, I'm gonna go with the numbers, mate. I've got to go with Woodsy on this one.
Yeah, that's fair. Next up, no, I'm obviously tipping myself. I'm nothing if not deluded.
As always, your hubris is your downfall.
So next up, we've got Reese versus Brian. Reese currently tipped to win that one. Big quarterback battle, Allen versus Murray. Who's your tip for that one?
Once again, got to go with the numbers here. I think I'm going to find myself not picking too much against the spread here. As it turns out, we don't know anything about this season yet, but yeah, got to lean with Reese. I still can't see Nigel. Can't put a sentence together. I've had 1.5 beers. Can't see Najee getting it done. Can't see Deontay getting it done. And yeah, that's all the words I have.
I'm going Reese as well. I just think he's got the better team at the moment. Next up, we've got Simon versus Fitzy. Fitzy is currently scheduled to win that by about 14 points or something. 12 points.
I think I'm going to go against it here again. I think Jamar and Ayuk, their numbers might have been suppressed because I wasn't sure if they were playing or not. I reckon those boys will go off. I reckon Simon will take this one, and you'll see. Oh, man, my articulation is terrible this evening. That's the end of it.
I'm going Fitzy. Yeah, Fitzy was my favourite team, so I'm not going to turn against him. Next up, we've got Manny, shockingly scheduled to win against Jutsi. So two of your, what did we have him in? Spina Bifida. Two Spina Bifida boys. Cripple fight.
A week one toilet bowl. You love to see it.
Manny's currently scheduled to win that, or predicted to win that, not scheduled. We don't do scripts here in the Ocho Bowl.
As you can tell by our yeah, look, I don't think that Vegas will have coalesced enough for Devontae Adams to carry him. I think, got to go with Manny on this one.
I am going to go with Jutsi. I feel like Jutsi always shows up in week one, which is probably part of the reason that he never trades, because that's when he's actually paying attention and his team wins, and then he stops paying attention, and then they but he's used to them winning for that 1 week. So next up, we've got yourself versus Dale. Looks to be a tight one, 5 points, the predicted difference.
I think it's all going to come down to, to me, it's the Lamar? What does Lamar do tomorrow? I'm going to back myself. Obviously, I rated my team fairly highly. I didn't really rate Raz's, so I'm going to back myself in this one.
I am going to go you as well. Look, you come on. If it's a 50-50, I'll tip you. That's my new rule that I just made up then.
Okay, fair enough.
And lastly, we've got Jared versus Havers. Havers currently tipped to win. Neither of them have a kicker on their roster at the moment, so first one to pick up a kicker could be the one who wins it.
Like I said, I don't rate Havers' team at all, and I really like Jared's team. I'm backing Jared all the way, no questions here.
I'm going to go Havers. I just feel like Jared's a slow starter. and he's going to have a lot to prove after you've potted him on the recap.
He's got grit and moxie, both of which will be tested for after the game.
Cool. That's done. Let's get out of here. Let's go watch the footy. Hope everyone has a good week, except for Woodsy. And we'll be back next week with a guest that I haven't organised yet, and hopefully some voicemails.
Hopefully it's someone better than me. Have a good one.